think
God,
that was
do we
go.
know if we're live? This is the question I have.
Are we live?
There we go. We're live. I am
No,
watching. We can live. They can see us.
we're professional.
We know what we're doing.
This is
Yeah.
hilarious.
Travis
Hello,
was actually
everyone.
prepared. He had a cool
Hello.
face on. Yeah.
This is really fun to be able to finally do this again. After what 2-year hiatus, Pierce? Is that we didn't do it last year because
Oh.
of the child who was born, not Jesus, my
And
son.
I didn't want to face uncomfortable questions. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But yes, to anyone who's watching here, thank you for joining us. And thanks for waiting until January after we skipped a year to do this, and for also moving with us as we postponed a week to allow Pierce to get out of the chaos a bit. And thanks for your patience, and thanks for joining us. Our host tonight, I am actually not the host. I'm delighted to be an interviewee instead of a host. So let me introduce our hosts real quick. We have Crescent and Skipper from the Fade to Obsidian podcast, which if you haven't listened to it, you definitely should. It's fabulous.
Wow.
Pierce has been a guest a couple of times. It's lovely, lovely Red Rising specific content. And of course, we're all on board for that. And then we also have Salem, who runs the Howler's Den, which is an incredible Red Rising specific Discord-based community. And you guys can each, if you want to take a moment to chat a little bit more about your sort of specific inroads into the Red Rising world by way of intro, you're welcome to. But these are our hosts tonight, and I'm going to let them mostly take it from here. As much as I can shut up. We'll see.
Yeah. Well,
We'll see.
thank you for having us tonight. We are honored to be chosen for this one. A lot of fun ahead. I'm going to start the way we start every Fade to Obsidian episode, which is, what are you drinking? What do we have tonight? Joel, I can already see yours. What do you have?
Jameson.
Giant bottle of
Giant
Attaboy.
Boy.
Classic.
Yeah, yep.
Nice.
Just some good old JMO. Classic, clean, not too expensive. Right how I like it.
Gets the job done.
Yes, it does.
Pierce, I think you're waiting for your drink, but what is coming? What do you
Currently have this
Okay.
lovely Nalgene.
We appreciate
bottle.
water.
It is filled with
Yeah, we do.
H2O. Yeah. And I have a beer delivery en route. And we'll see
Perfect.
how it takes. And you guys can
Okay.
then monitor based on my how my answers get better with less beer or more beer.
Perfect.
To be
Crescent, what do
decided.
you have?
So I made this custom cocktail for when we did our episode that was talking about Hangar 17B. And it is
yes.
called the Eagle's Rest.
Oh, too soon.
What's in it? I need more details.
So it has an ounce of Lagavulin 16, an ounce of Wild Turkey 101, half an ounce of yellow chartreuse, quarter ounce of Amaro de Angostura, half an ounce of ginger syrup, half an ounce of lemon juice, and then garnish with a maraschino with a sword.
Delicious.
My pick is a sword.
That's amazing.
Or Cassius.
Poor Cassius.
Full spoilers ahead. Let's just make sure
Yeah.
everybody knows that if you're watching this, you better finish Springer. We're already into it. Salem, what do you have?
I am drinking also a cocktail. It does not have a name. I put it together the other day, and it is apple brandy and apple juice and a little bit of caramel drizzle. So if anybody has
Ooh.
suggestions for names, I am taking them.
Well, out of curiosity, who do you think would be drinking that in the Red Rising world?
That is a good question.
Yeah, all right. The hard hitting ones from here.
Who would you think would?
Oh no!
drink that
Don't
beer?
do this. Let's not make
You're
this
the one
about
who
me.
made the
Let's not make
characters.
this about me. No,
Yeah,
no,
no,
no.
close behind.
You can think on it. We'll get back to you.
Okay.
The chat right now is saying apple. There is a lot of apple and
There we
apple
go.
the apple
Yeah.
brandy in there.
Mhm.
There you
Perfect.
Yeah.
go. I have 2 drinks tonight. One that is already half done, which is a Guinness out of a Kilkenny glass. Don't call me out on that one.
Blasphemy.
It's got Guinness and another one on the back. But I also, Pierce, you once said you sustain yourself on reader's tears, so I am drinking writer's tears tonight.
I got gifted that a couple times.
Yeah. So
that'll
that's
go
what I
down
have
nice.
is I'm sustaining myself on your tears tonight. So
Fair
we'll see
enough.
how
Fair
this
enough.
goes
Bring
down.
it on.
Yeah. Excellent. All right. hand it over to you,
Okay.
Salem, for the next question.
Yeah.
Or go right
So
in.
the holidays are ending with this Bacchanal because we've, pushed it back a couple times. What was your favorite part of the holidays this year?
As we're on the pagan schedule, I like us having a delayed Bacchanal. So feels appropriate to Red Rising. Probably the favorite part is seeing my family. It's just they always present a really nice home to come home to wherever they move to. So going up to Minnesota to see them. That's really nice. And then also getting to see Joel on, what was it, the 1st or 2nd? No,
Yeah,
31st. 31st,
yeah,
something like that.
yeah.
Yeah, and just getting to see his little tyke shoot up. That's good stuff.
What about you,
Mine
Joel?
mine was similar family. We did a little dual tour from zipped over to Nashville to see my wife's family, and then out to LA and met up with my family, which is funny because no one lives there except for Pierce. But the entire Beasley clan descended upon him to wish him Merry Christmas. My family just randomly decided to go to Santa Monica for the holidays this year to get out of Seattle. I guess they were like, my whole family lives in Seattle. They were tired of the weather, but yeah, it was really lovely. It was like, I have a 1-year-old son. He just turned one right before Christmas, so like just doing a little Christmas tour with him and watching him. Like he doesn't know how to open presents yet, but he's like still so excited about the energy that's happening. I think my favorite moment was like his grandma had gotten this like dancing cow that sang like Merry Christmas and moos. And he just loved it so much. He would sit there like twerking and grinning and dancing to this dancing cow. And he would like turn it back on and do it over and over and over again. So that was my favorite Christmas moment, followed closely by seeing Pierce in LA, which was lovely.
Yeah,
Nice.
family, second family, really. What about you guys, or is this just us? Is it just about
It's
us
just
gentlemen?
you. Nobody
Oh,
cares
cool.
about us.
Well, the fun thing about the Phillips family for me is it always brings me back to the genesis of Red Rising, because my only readers for the first several books I wrote were Joel's two brothers, and I think they read probably 5 books that no one else really maybe has read. My mom pretended to read them. But so when I was coming over to Joel's family, it was always like a home cooked meal in a cabin his parents built by themselves in the woods of Seattle. And first time I walked in there, I just thought that, because I moved up to Seattle and I was going to college down in California and didn't know anyone in Seattle. Came home for the holidays and for summers in Seattle, and I walked into their house and just saw books lining you know, every single wooden shelf, and was like, oh, this is home. And so they've been lucky enough. I've been lucky enough that they've invited me over quite a bit, and that's where Joel and I met and started talking about Red Rising as part of their fire there. So good memories and like great way to kind of go back to the beginning.
I'll have you know, I'm still not really a beta reader. I don't know how my brothers still outweigh me on that list, but
It's
at least
Nathan's
give them
Nathan's boundless enthusiasm, man, and you know you do audiobooks better.
Does have
You
that,
know you
yeah.
do audiobooks better, yeah.
What I'm hearing is you need to record your dulcet tones for the beta.
Oh man, but then so I got told this piece of advice by Terry Brooks: when you're doing a reading, try to focus on a section without much dialogue, because then you're having to do the voices and keep track of it. And Terry says, "Trust me, you're not as good as you think you are." And so Joel would have like 17 accents for like each character's accent would be going back and forth the entire time.
Oh, it would be terrible. It would be
That'd
horrible.
be awful. But perhaps
Sounds great.
Actually,
If
so
I think it would be
funny,
great.
Absolutely.
I bet I could have
I'm-
AI smooth it out.
well, funny
Mm.
story on that actually. So when I was working on the art for Lightbringer, I just had like a PDF copy of the book. It was like pre-arcs or anything, and so I almost listened to all of like the content that I consume in the literature world. I listen to an audiobook while I'm painting. I actually joke that I don't know how to read anymore, but it's not really a joke at this point. I can't remember the last time I read a book. But I go through like 3 books a week. Because I constantly have a book on while I'm painting, and so I was like, "There's got to be." I've got this PDF. I was trying to read it on my computer screen, and it was a terrible experience. And I was like, so consumed by it that I was just like staring at my screen. My eyes were bloodshot, and so I was like, "I'm gonna get Lightbringer read to me by AI." And I did. And I had it read to me by this terrible British voice that was like the most like
Oh, no.
robotic bad AI. It was like really early like AI sort of is way better now in the year since that happened, year and a half. But it was like so bad. But the book was still so fucking good that it didn't matter how bad the narrator was. It was no Tim Gerard Reynolds, I'll tell you that. But
Yeah.
it was a very
Well,
strange experience.
Chat right now is giving full kudos to TGR.
Oh my
it's
God.
fantastic.
Ooh,
All of him.
I do have to take a poll from the chat while Pierce has dipped away.
Okay.
We're trying to decide on some future Hazard Bedlam prizes. One prize we've been kicking around is a voicemail by Tim Gerard Reynolds for your phone.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yep. Sounds good.
Chat, what are we feeling like that? Someone wants a
That-
full
I
date
want
with TGR, but yeah, Chat's loving this idea.
I also want to date with
Chat is
TGR.
loving it.
But yes, a close second to a date would be having my phone voicemail be voiced by TGR.
Yeah, someone would actually die, they said. So, yeah.
His
there you
voice
go.
is just so fucking sexy. It's amazing.
I bet TGR would cooperate. Maybe we could figure out a way to make that a prize in some competition or something.
That was that's what I just asked.
Oh, you did? Okay.
We did
Hey,
the
great
AI.
minds. Yeah.
Great minds, great minds. And
I'll
no,
go back.
audience,
Yeah.
I had not run this by Pierce yet. This was just an idea we had apparently separately, simultaneously. So
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Sounds like it needs to come to fruition then. I love
I
it.
think it does. I really think it does. What do you think? Do you know him well enough, Pierce? Would he say yes if we were like, hey, will you record a voicemail?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
in various interviews said Red Rising is his favorite thing he's worked on. So
He's
he
iconic.
really,
It's like
yeah, and I
his
think
voice
that
is that world.
yeah, and he really resonates with him. I was really afraid about having a narrator who didn't connect with the material, and I think that when we got to having multiple narrators, there were people who were just doing it as a job. And I think that Tim always brought his soul to the project. And because of that, he said he was rereading the books multiple times. So he would, a lot of them cold read it. They just read it as they're going or read over once. He would just mull over it, and you could really sense it because with the emotions in each scene, he really knows where the thing is going and where to pace himself or how to change it. And I really value him.
Awesome.
So we're back to TGR.
Always. I love it.
Okay.
Present, you've got next question.
What else
Next
we got?
question's on me. Easy one, theoretically, from our resident unhinged baker. What is your favorite kind of cookie?
An unbaked cookie.
Ooh.
Any particular kind though?
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm a simple boy. I like okay, there's this one place in Dallas, and if anyone's from Dallas, you can vouch for me on this. JD's Chippery in like Highland Park Plaza. Like you bite into it. I think they use a whole thing of a whole stick of butter for each cookie. So you bite into it, and it can be 3-4 days old, and it's still moist, and you're like, what is going on? So JD's Chippery's M&M peanut butter cookie is the best.
This live stream brought to you by JD Chippery.
Yes, I wish. I'd look very different though. I'd look very different if they sponsored me.
If anyone here is connected, I will take some cookies.
Well, I don't like sweets, period. Like I really don't. But those
poor
cookies,
guy.
wow, man, God, I get a box of 12, they're gone in a day.
Yeah. Samesies on the uncooked cookies front, which is why I'm always, a candidate for salmonella. But it's
right?
it's worth it if it ever happens because
Yeah.
I'll eat like half of like the batch of cookie dough before it's cooked, and then have no interest in any of the cookies. Not because I ate half the cookie dough, just because like I'd way rather have the cookie dough. I'm not cookied out. I just only want cookie dough. I don't want cookies.
Same. Sometimes I'll be monstrous in the middle of the night and make like a thing of cookie dough and then not bake it, but broil it for like 3 minutes, 4 minutes so it's crispy on top and then gooey down beneath. And then I'll sit there. And I'll sit there.
Okay, hack.
In between like cooked and uncooked. Oh shit! I've
That
never
shit
considered this
fucks. Okay, that's one hack. Another great
I know
hack
what I'm
is
doing this weekend.
yes. The other great hack, guys, is
We
pizza.
are too.
If you have leftover pizza, olive oil in the pan, high heat, 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds. Cheese down for only 30 seconds though, and you'll get it crispy and it'll crackle. But it's still, I like it a little bit like the cheese like melting a little bit, but I like the sauce still cold. I'm a monster. But if you do that to the crust, it'll crackle and it's heaven. All right. I'm done.
My teeth are disagreeing deeply with this like temperature contrast concept right now.
Oh.
They're just-
How can you tell who has sensitive teeth?
It's worth
Quick
getting.
life
It's worth getting new teeth for, man. It's good.
yeah.
I'll get a pizza and put it in the fridge and be like, I'm not eating you today. And then I'll go get like 1 slice, 2 slice, 3 slice. But then I'll be like, I'm not eating the rest of you. Then in the middle of the night, game on.
Yeah. Funny story, I got my first cavity in years and years and years recently because I'd been up late at night so much with an infant child, and then I would just go in the kitchen and like eat everything. And then I would like go back to bed without brushing my teeth because I'm like, it's the middle of the night, it's like 3 a.m. and I'm like, oh, I just had like 14 cookies and a slice of pizza. That's obviously rational behavior.
By Crescent's facial expressions, I'm believing that he's not necessarily a night eater.
Depends on the night.
Fair
Depends on what's occurred previously.
enough.
Last time I went
Otherwise,
to
I
visit
sleep
Crescent.
You mean
right through the night.
whether or not you've gone on a hike or something? Is that what you
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, certainly
Yeah,
not these.
Yeah. Last time I visited Crescent, he cooked us a turkey that was ready at midnight, and we started eating
That's
turkey at
fucking
midnight.
awesome.
Is that bad
I really
planning,
hope
or
it's
is that?
incredibly far
Who
from the
knows?
holidays. It was
In
like
all fairness, turkey's
middle of
turkey.
the summer or something.
No, it was
No,
it was a week after Canadian Thanksgiving, so we were
Okay.
like, oh, we should have Thanksgiving,
When's,
and it
when's
ended up being
Canadian Thanksgiving?
October. We're the second
mid-October.
Monday in October.
I've gone 36 years of life without knowing that. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And we
you know that,
actually
Joel?
predate American Thanksgiving, so there you go.
Wow.
Does it have the same iconography?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
pretty
racist
much.
pilgrim hats.
Oh no, so ours is not okay. Chad does not care about this, but ours is actually the Northwest Passage and how they failed to find it and had to revolt to cannibalism.
Yeah, it's a great story.
Oh my
was it
god.
desolation?
And so then we
Pass?
went Thanksgiving because everyone after that survived. It'll be fine.
Deception Pass, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the Deception Pass is down in Seattle, but yeah, they went up to the
Okay.
Northwest
Same,
Passage.
same
That's
quest.
so-
Same quest.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Same.
I remember they had to eat each other. That's a good one.
Yeah, there
That's-
you go.
Yeah.
I'm
So-
jealous. That's so much better than like we traded smallpox for corn. Here you go.
Yeah, we just went, oh, did they end up amongst the ice? And yeah.
Yeah.
Origin stories
go.
of nations. Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Look at that.
Wow.
Moving on.
Wow.
Occasional seminar brought to you by beer. Or
Okay.
there you go.
So we've kind of already like gotten a little bit into it, but
Yeah, really serious.
Joel, there was a running question during Hazard Bedlam. Who are you? And how
Who
did you
am
get
I?
who are you and how did you
Joel.
get involved in Red Rising?
Oh god, I weaseled my way in and I have made myself indispensable simply by no one knowing what I do until they can't fire me.
Could I answer for Joel?
Yeah, please. I feel like this is better if
Who
we
are
did that.
you? Like, so Joel was like the hard to catch, elusive. Their family is very much like the Weasleys. They have a Percy, they have a Fred, that they have like a Bill. He's Bill. So he was out there. I met the other brothers. The younger brother loved me. The one I met at the Percy brother, Nate, Aaron, loved me in school. We were great friends. But Joel was always out, the artist, doing like artist things, and was always a little too cool for school and didn't like me very much. And the feeling was becoming mutual until, well, I had this need for people to like me, so I was like, I need him to like me. And then I think it was at a family dinner. We started talking like what project I'm working on, and Joel was humoring me, and then I started telling him about Red Rising, and he started sitting there with that same smile he has right there, and just got so into it because I think it was a culmination of a lot of different things we liked. And then we started talking about me wanting like the symbols and the sigils and stuff, and I showed him the alchemist stuff, the old alchemist symbols, and Joel just lit up and had an idea, and I showed him this idea of the Ares helmet that I had. Next morning, I wake up to a text from Joel having already sketched out the Ares helmet, and he's already gotten to work on the sigils.
Wow.
So in many ways, before Red Rising was even in its second draft, really, Joel was on board and helping me come up with the maps and helping me game plan it, and really, to be honest, fuel to my fire. Like without his family and then without Joel, like I don't know if I would have had the gumption to continue with Red Rising in the early aughts. So Joel is an essential part of the creative process for me. Also, I call him and bitched him about working and my aching back. So he's also my psychologist and
I
brother in
live for
arms.
those phone calls. I love them. But to finish sort of the real version of the story, it is where the moment where Pierce, when it was finally published and there was an offer on the table, went to bat for me with Random House. As at the time I was like 20, I think maybe 21. No
Yeah.
portfolio, no resume, and Pierce was like, this is my buddy who's gonna do all the artwork. And they were like, at first we're like, fuck you, no. Like, we have a team of professionals, like any rational publishing house would. And he was like, no, he's gonna do this stuff. And I don't know how you manage to throw your weight around, because like now that I've been in and around the publishing industry long enough, like I realize how hard of a sell that is, especially for a first time author.
Yeah.
But he went to bat for me and trusted me to make the artwork, and that's where it all began. And then fast forward, God, however long it is now, 12 years
To be
later.
completely fair, Joel, I didn't know that was a hill I could die on. Fortunately, Random House didn't kill me on that hill, but I was standing on that hill, and I'm like, they're gonna publish it anyway. If I had known the risks, I would have left you in the dust, bro.
Well, all's
Seems
well that ends
totally
well, I guess,
possible.
on the front. But that's who I am. And then now I run Lit Escalates, which is started out as a little fundraiser during COVID, selling some Red Rising gear, and now we work with not just Pierce, but also V.E. Schwab and Joe Abercrombie, and hopefully some more folks soon. We can't quite talk about it yet.
You still have
Some
you still have your Joel.
really fun things coming this year.
Yeah.
FYI.
And you still have your Joel Daniel Phillips website up.
Oh yeah. I still this is my
So
like
Joel is
my
also
day job is being a painter. Yeah.
yeah,
So
a tremendously talented at first charcoal artist and then now a painter. So check out his work; it's pretty amazing stuff. I mean, I wish I could turn my computer. I can't. But I have a six. When I moved into my last house, Joel gifted me with a 6 foot tall, hand sketched or hand drawn Darth Vader. The Darth Vader is always watching over me when I'm writing, and it's pretty awesome. There's like secret messages written in his chest plate and stuff. It's awesome. So
it took, how long did it take you to find that secret message? It was I that was the hardest thing for me to keep that secret, like not tell you about it for a couple years.
I think it was until I did mushrooms, and I was like, "What is this detail?"
Yeah. Yeah, so I was drawing a life-size Darth Vader, and I was like looking at the original chest plate with the buttons, and I was looking at like the original props and like what like the numerical stuff on the buttons on his chest plate were, which was like totally random. But I went down this whole rabbit hole, and it's like a faux Hebrew in the movie that they like labeled his chest plate with, and so I ended up writing a message in Hebrew in the chest plate on Pierce's drawing. That was took him like 3 years to find.
I'm super smart.
Nailed it.
Yeah. What next? What we got?
Crescent's
All right.
next.
So another one. This is a section all for Joel. So what goes into your map and book artwork making process? What parts do you love the most, and what part drives you crazy?
Oh my God. What goes into the process? I mean, the first step, we were just joking about this, was like it's listening, or for me, reading, but pretending to read. So listening to the book read to me by a bad AI narrator, in unedited form, and trying to get a sense of where the book's going, what's happening, and then it's different with now I'm working with more authors than just Pierce. With Pierce, like, trusts me implicitly to almost a problematic degree. I think I wonder sometimes if it's actually good. But Pierce will be like, "What do you think we should do?" And I'll like sort of vaguely sketch an idea, and he'll like it or not like it. But I don't have to like do sketches, or like he doesn't make me go through the rigmarole of sort of selling a project, to which I am eternally grateful, because I'd rather actually just get on to the creative part of the process. So
Well,
yeah,
I think a brief pause. I think the great thing about you is you always have a take. You're not just creating an image. You have like an in-world either irony, or you have a representation, like an allegory built into something. With the project we're currently working on, like you presented something that's already, how would I say it? It's a representation of a deeper idea in a visual image. So it's cool.
Yeah.
Like you already come with a thesis, and I think that comes from your art background, which is really fun for me because I can just be like, that thesis works or it doesn't work. And then you're like,
Mhm.
okay, here's another stick figure. I like that one, you know?
Yeah. Teaser, I may be in the process of working on my own version of all of the covers for a project, just FYI.
Yeah,
Oh
I think
shit.
they're really I think they're really cool.
Oh, poor wallet.
But
Sorry,
we'll
guys.
notice that later. Yeah, the process sort of starts with, reading the book, obviously, and then sort of, seeing what pops into my head and texting drunkenly to Pierce at 3 a.m. some weird sketches and doodles I come up with, and him saying yes or no, and then and then the main part of the process is really like the rendering part for me. So like the maps from Lightbringer, we're drawing those, those worlds, and I think at some point I posted a stop motion of the process where it's sort of like kind of wild in retrospect to watch it kind of form. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have a specific like process. It's sort of something sticks and clicks, and then it's like, oh yeah, I really am interested in this particular element. Like with Lightbringer, I knew, the whole book sort of hinged around, the battle towards the end and sort of trying to capture that space and sort of show, those planets from outer space and get a sense of like what they are in my head and try to pass it along to other people because I don't know. It's just it's a fun process. I feel deeply, deeply honored to be able to be a part of the conversation.
Awesome. You'll notice that as we go through, I get all the ridiculous questions. So the next one is also from Howler Sweets. Full credit to him. Is the brown sigil just a waffle? Did you just make it a waffle?
They got us, Joel. 10 years on, they got us.
I don't remember where the brown sigil came from, to be honest. I don't know if I should even be saying this out loud, but I'm gonna say it. So this is off the record or whatever. But
This doesn't
I
make you
don't
feel
remember.
confident.
Like I could sit there and say, like red sigil came from, the symbol, the alchemical symbol for iron. Like most of like the big houses, in the sense that there were like characters that I was reading the book around, that were like really sort of specific, had this like very long thought out process, and then there were a handful of houses towards the end that we had a specific like I'm sure that had some thought process behind it. I don't remember because I can't remember a book and I can't remember a brown character in the first book, and I'm sure there is one. Is but like at that
I think
time, like,
Preston says no.
honestly,
there's stewards. There's stewards, but they're not said they're brown stewards. They're just stewards. So
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
vocation, but not from what I remember.
So
But Crescent
yeah,
probably knows
so
better, to be honest.
so
On this.
Crescent, I might have to hire you for proofreading canonically this next one.
That's the second time you've said
Sold.
that.
Well,
That's correct.
this time I'll remember.
Okay.
I'll remind you this time
no, it's
too.
not a waffle. It was more of a bad X-Men ripoff. I don't know. I mean, I honestly like don't. It's like if there's one symbol that I would redo, it probably would be the brown symbol because it never felt as sort of specific as the other ones did in any
Well, to
sort
be
of
fair,
way.
in their world, in the Red Rising world, I feel like they're, I always did it as a joke, like the Browns were to be shit on because it's my last name. And so like they were always kind of like the odd job, right? The janitors, etc. But then we got to the rim, and I'm like, oh shit, they respect Browns more, and they're like growers and botanists and a whole subclass. So a lot of it is figured out in the evolution, Joel. Like if we had known
Well,
certain things were going to be important, we would have put a little more work into some of the stuff.
well, none of the world was written yet. I mean, like it
Oh,
wasn't. I mean, it was like and you could speak to this, as a writer. Like we've talked endlessly about sort of pantsers versus plotters, and that like creative process of like letting characters sort of create the world and letting it sort of build itself. Having watched you build this world out in your own brain over the course of 10 years and then sort of jumping in at various points to sort of visualize parts of it, like it would be dishonest to say that like the brown symbol sort of came from anything other than like, oh, I need this to finish the pyramid, and I don't quite know what that looks like yet because I don't know what that world looks like yet. It hadn't been written or developed. So
yeah.
yeah, and now it's sort of there canonically. I'm sort of like, God damn it!
I like
feel
it.
like I know,
I don't
but
dislike it.
Chat is defending the waffle hard right
Yeah,
now. Chat wants the waffle to stay.
Chat, thank you. I
I
personally
don't
like
dislike it as a
waffle.
symbol in and of
I
itself. I
like
just
the
wish I
waffle.
had a better
In the
reason.
same way, some of my boo-boos in the first, second, third, in the book, there's like, things that I would go back and change, and it wouldn't be the same thing, you know? And there's
No.
some weird alchemy at work here, so we just gotta trust the alchemy.
Fair. Fair. Cheers to that.
There's a lot of books out there that are really, really, really refined, really, but they just don't have alchemy, so
Mhm.
trust in the alchemy. And thank you,
All
chat.
right.
I can't see you, but 'cause I would then be distracted, but good to know you have our backs.
All right. So these next few questions are: is that a reference? Loosely. So, is Cassius's name deliberately close to Casus Belli? And
Yes.
has that been the case
Yes.
since day one?
Yes. Yes.
Ah!
Yes. Thank you. Yes. Finally. Finally.
Good job,
Yeah.
Crescent.
Yeah.
For chat who might not know what Cassius Belli is, can you
Yeah, it
explain
means it's
just
a
what
Roman.
that?
It's a Roman, or it's Latin, and it means cause for war. Generally, uh, and it's been used for thousands of years. And typically, even a how would I say it? Even a tyrannical society will have a casus belli that they can blame something on. For instance, with Ukraine and Russia, blaming Ukrainian Nazis for existing. And so then casus belli, because no one likes Nazis, um, etc. And so it's funny because it comes from Bologna, which is another deeper irony for me with the founding of the legions. The legions, when they got founded, like when Sillinus and his um, pals, like Sillinus was part of a minority contingent within the let's loosely call it the council or the parliament of Luna. So when Earth was trying to take what the society was building um, off planet, the Bolognas, when they finally built a legion that was called or it's called the Eagle Legion, but it was when everyone else decided that there was actually a cause for war, because the Bolognas were the fairest, the Bolognas were the noblest. So if they went to war, there was actually a cause for war. So it's because there's other people starting legions before them, and you look at their family names and you're like, yeah, that makes sense. But then when the Bolognas do it, you're like, then you just see a rush of all the other families who are a bit fairer, a bit more pacifistic, jumping in as well. So
Nice.
that's really great. Exactly. I love that pun.
Nice.
It always
That's
makes me. It always makes me giggle.
Have you been asked
Well-
that before? I've never heard. I've never heard.
No, I don't think I have.
So
I didn't. This is
literally,
something I didn't.
when we were all reading it, Crescent messaged
Crescent
us.
was dying of
He was
that.
just like, "Oh my god, this has to be it."
It has to
But
be.
you
Is
also have
it?
to remember, and if you know our history, which we won't go into, Crescent read Lightbringer slightly ahead of the rest of us and was like sitting there dying, being like, who do I
I
talk to
can't
about
share.
this?
Welcome to my
Yeah.
world, Crescent.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
It's lots of
Well,
fun.
kind of along the same lines, this was a fan question. I don't remember who submitted it. Is there a significant meaning behind naming it Hangar 17B? Is 17B meaningful? Or just a number?
I'm not gonna spoil things for
Oh,
y'all.
okay.
That'd be just like me explaining Cass's belly 8 years ago and like not getting this delicious moment. So nah, I'm gonna hoard my delicious moment in the future. So
All right.
thanks though.
Everyone remember that.
Okay. Okay, so bear with me on this one. So Osgard calls Ephraim Tin Man. And Ephraim doesn't think he has a heart, like the Tin Man from Wizard of Oz. And Osgard is a sham shaman, like the wizard. Is this all a Wizard of Oz reference?
It wasn't intended as such, but then in like the third draft, I noticed it. And I was like amused. It was never intended that way, but yeah, I thought it was pretty funny. Yeah, so not in the first or second drafts, but in the third draft, I'm like, all right, let's keep it. 'Cause I think Mike put a question like, are you do this? And he's like, should we throw a golden road in? I'm like, nah, we don't need to. We'll just leave it. Yeah, so unintentionally, yeah. I mean, everything's like I've said this before. Everything's in a big gumbo pot, right? That everything I've ever read or watched or listened to, and sometimes you don't know the connections your brain is making, and you're like, "Did I do that on on accident? Yeah, probably. Or is it just coincidence? I don't know. That's the fun thing about
little Gumby.
that's the fun thing, and I love that you guys pour over it so much that you're looking for intention sometimes, and I'm like, nope, can't claim that one.
Yep. Love it. Well, and the next one I feel like might go the same way, but is Eevee, throwback all the way to, I don't think we've seen her since Golden Sun, is Eevee named after the Pokemon, and what is her final form?
She's not named after the Pokemon. I was a baseball card collector and football card collector, and the other kids had Pokemon cards, so I felt a little left out because I kept switching schools. And I moved to one school and they had all these Pokemon cards, and I was like, shit, I need to get Pokemon cards. But I never really connected with Pokemon, except for Charmander and Charizard. I thought that was cool.
They are the best.
Yeah, and I had Firebelly Newts named Apollo and Aries when I was 7. So, yeah, right? This goes back a ways, guys.
Wow.
And so I loved Charmander, but otherwise I have noticed that it is the same as Eevee, but was not intended to be as such.
Yeah. Nice. I do have all the Eevees. I don't know if you can see above me.
Be honest, there's
just
certain
for
things
this.
if you miss it at the wrong age, you're never going to connect with it. And Pokemon's like that for me. Dragon Ball Z is the same way. Like one of my best buddies is in love with Dragon Ball Z, and I've tried to watch it as like a 30-something now, and I watch it and I'm just like, I can't get stoned enough to make this interesting.
Fair.
And
Well,
I've
on
tried.
that, we're gonna lead into our unhinged questions.
Oh, these were the normal ones. Great.
These were the normal ones.
Yeah.
We're going unhinged now.
Oh, great.
Okay, so this is an opinion piece. Everybody that I've met loves Diomedes, and some might even call him Daddy. Now, is the portmanteau Daddy Medes or Daddy-o-Medes?
Daddy
Are we adding the
Medes, for sure. Daddy Medes.
Daddy,
What? With no O?
Oh,
Okay,
doesn't
but
bring
what's
the
the
O?
extra part?
Well, what's the extra part?
Well, Diomedes always brings the O.
Yeah.
he always brings the O.
Sure. But we got to stick in world a bit here, guys. Don't get too carried away. Diomedes makes it sound like he's from the mine Medes, right? Which makes it sound like he's red, which is a little too egalitarian for him. He's Daddy Medes.
Daddy Medes.
Okay.
All right.
Can we be
I think
honest?
that finally settles the debate.
Can it actually
no.
just be meaty daddy, or no? Is that too far?
I'm going to go throw up. Wow.
Wow. All right.
Okay.
Joel. The same in public as he is in private.
I like it.
All right. Next question.
Just drink from the bottle at this point.
Yes.
What could go wrong?
All right.
Next one. Let's bring it.
Have any particular howlers, we're gonna limit you to 3.
Yeah.
Have any particular howlers been banned from certain establishments, and which establishments and why?
Well, I don't know if they've been banned from establishments, but I do know we couldn't continue doing the original Hazard Bedlam because of what people were doing. Joel, if you'd like to elaborate.
Oh God. Well, I think this question particularly meant like the fictional howlers
In the
book.
books.
Yeah, in the books.
Oh.
Not Hazard Bedlam.
Although
I
I
was like,
can't.
how-
Times
I
in
was
the
like, I'm
real
not-
life is
Like, I'm not
People who
spying
cancel
on y'all. How would I
books.
know this question? Oh, for sure. Sever is no longer allowed in the opera. Snore's too loud. Yeah, for sure. I imagine Screwface. Screwface is, obsessed with his insecurity, and now he's a really handsome gold. I'm sure there's some bars that have banned Screwface because he's trying to screw his way through insecurity. Yeah. So, and, I would say that Darrow is certainly banned from most of Venus. Yeah.
all
Okay.
right. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna ask the question.
And, Ragnar
okay.
Ragnar is also banned from the living world.
Oh.
Sorry, I hate to be pedantic, but
Too soon. Too soon.
Mm.
Always too soon.
Ow.
you're
I
lost.
just heard my
Wow.
partner from the other room.
I know sometimes
Wow.
I'll be rereading books to to remember certain scenes, and I'll just read that scene like, "Fuck, that sucks." Or I'll be like later on, like even 5 books later, and just be like, "Man, I wish I had Ragnar in this moment." Because I'm like, I didn't build up another character to be that force or something, and it's like, yeah, he's a gaping hole. Practice, you
Is
know.
it
You
so
did that.
No, I
yeah,
didn't
you did do
really.
that. Fuck you forever for doing that. But
Does
also,
yeah,
I
can a
mean,
drowning man really be blamed?
from like to make a world that's believable and that you care about the characters, like I believe that they all have to you have to feel like as a reader that they could die at any time. Like the world for that to feel like the stakes are so high, anyone could die at any time, which is like there's very few series other than Red Rising that do that. Like George R. R. Martin is like one of the only
Oh
writers
yeah,
that
and
does that.
I was heavily affected by George when I was reading it. It's like,
Yeah,
oh, goodness,
I was,
this makes me pay attention.
I've always wondered though, like how hard it is for you as a writer to do that. Like, because I know you, like, I'm sure you were sitting there, you're like, fuck, do I like you just said, oh, I wish Ragnar later. I was writing a scene, I wish Ragnar was there. Like, is it hard for you in that moment to make that decision?
Some are easy kills. Other ones, like, I won't even understand what the book is until there's an instinct, especially when you're a pantser, to keep your gunpowder dry, so to speak, to hoard your characters. But then, like, nothing happens and people don't have anything to react to in world. It's difficult also because, I've taken myself out of the online conversation like long ago, but the impression has affected me that I had, like, I probably stopped like 4 or 5 years ago. But it left an impression because, some sides will accuse you of killing characters just to fuck with the reader, manipulating the reader. Others will say, oh, but then they have too much plot armor, and so you have to strike a middle ground of, when do they conceivably get out of the situation, etc. Um, I would say it's really difficult, mostly to make it feel like I'm not trying to manipulate the reader and that it actually makes sense in world, um,
Mhm,
while also hopefully not making it feel like it veers too far into manipulation or plot armor. It's
mhm,
difficult because, some from an emotional perspective, yeah, it's hard to say goodbye to characters. From the like from a labor perspective, it's difficult because you've spent a lot of time getting them to a certain place. For instance, Cassius, I developed him over the course of 9 years, and then to say goodbye and say, oh, this is the culmination of his arc is really difficult because it's like building a boat and letting it set off, and then you're just like, I guess I'll never see it again, and you're like, God, that's a weird feeling. But also when it really works, I know it, and also when it doesn't work, I feel it. So, for instance, in Lightbringer, Ajax's death was meant to come in a very climactic battle with Diomedes at the end of the book, but it didn't feel right, and the whole book felt off kilter from it. And then when I had an epiphany and I killed him very off camera, so to speak, in the early part of the book, it felt far more natural and far more on theme with what I was talking about with Lysander's introduction to what war is, and also not expected, and also kind of cheap, which is how it's meant to leave you, which
mhm,
is what it felt to Lysander. Because clearly this guy's so good, he has a destiny. Clearly, he's just gotten complimented, and he's reaching the apotheosis of his ability to master violence and inherit from Aja, the mantle of, the best warrior out there. And even Darrow's scared of him. Surely he's gonna have to face him, but instead he gets killed off camera. And so it's like that felt wrong to me, but also because it was wrong, right? So it's variable, man.
mhm.
I feel my way through it, and I go based on gut.
Is there a version of Ragnar's arc where he didn't die in that book? Like,
Oh
did
yeah,
you?
I've
Yeah,
talked. Yeah. Well, I mean, initially, like that's not how I conceived of it. But I made a
yeah,
rule that you fight Aja, you die. And then I was
yeah.
like, of course, the beautiful thing about Ragnar is you want to be the shield for Darrow, and he's this great weapon. And honestly, it felt like Darrow was invulnerable when Ragnar was around. And then I had to show the power disparity still between Aja and Ragnar, and Aja and the society and the Republic, or the society and the Rising at the time. And so I was
Mm,
like, yeah, well, I made a rule. I have to obey that rule. It's like,
mm.
in the Matrix, if Trinity fought Agent Smith and stood her ground and didn't die, you'd just be like, oh,
Well, yeah, the
that's
whole
not that
world breaks.
scary. Yeah.
Yeah,
So the world, it's kind of like, movies or books or something, you're watching it and like, I don't know, the plucky kid, the plucky farm boy somehow, bests the right hand of the emperor, and you're just like, well, the emperor must not be that scary, and so I needed to keep that feeling of dire mortality for my characters.
Mm-hmm.
Power leveling,
Yeah. Nice. All right. Well, I know we're running into time before we start the movie. We're gonna get through some real fast before Emily
We'll be
shows up
concise.
to
Yeah.
cut us out.
Yeah.
The next one is one that comes up actually on our podcast constantly. Constantly, we need to know. Is Lagavulin 16 still being made, or are Lauren's bottles like hundreds of years old?
His bottles are hundreds of years old.
Okay. So then my follow-up to that was going to be about Guinness, which is why I'm drinking it tonight, because Guinness actually has a 9,000-year-old rent. I don't know if you know that, but they get to hold their building for 9,000 years. So does Guinness still exist in the Red Rising world?
Now it does.
Yeah. Hold on, let me go to the actual. Sponsored by Guinness.
Every time I mentioned swill, I thought that was Guinness, guys.
Yeah, that's
That
there
was
you go.
obvious. That was
Yeah, at
obvious.
this point.
I mean, high likelihood not, because most of the Reds were forced off of came from Ireland because of the nuclear bombs that hit England during the Third World War, and so that became a migratory workforce. And I doubt they took their hops and barley with them.
Okay, fine, but 9,000-year-old rent. I'm just saying.
Just because there's
We're
rent
gonna
doesn't mean
move.
there's a tenant.
Yeah, we're gonna move into our favorite category that we know you get excited for as well, which is fuck, marry, kill. And we're gonna ask Joel these questions as well.
All right.
Crescent, you're
All right.
going with the first one there.
First set. Harmony, Lilith, Atalantia.
Oh fuck.
Which one?
Jesus fucking Christ.
Marry Atalantia, because at least then I'll be rich and successful somehow, because she would not
Ooh.
tolerate anything else.
Mm.
Ah, my God. Kill Lilith, because I just can't. And fuck Harmony, because at least she has a cause.
Okay.
What about you, Joel?
Oh God. I think it'd have to be the same, because I can't fucking touch Lila with a 10-foot pole, and yeah, I can't. Yeah, I can't argue with that logic.
I mean, the clone was down there first, Ugh.
It's good. Well, it's just fucking teeth necklace. What you're doing? I mean, Jesus Christ. There's so much about it. Like,
Yeah.
Something
does
about
she
that.
wear it? Probably. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like, when I think about, like, all these vampire books, like people having sex with the vampire, and I'm like, isn't he cold? And isn't she cold? And I'm like, imagine just Lilith's like cold and kind of like stale tasting.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
Ugh. No.
I was gonna say
Who
that's
came
a
up
hot
with,
take, but that's a
who
cold
came
take.
up with that one? I need to know who to blame.
I'm repulsed.
That
Keep
was
going.
me. Yeah,
We
I think
need
I
to
was
get this
all
taste
for
out of our
these.
mouths. Yeah, we need to move
That
on.
was me. It's the opposite.
Okay,
I
well,
said Atalantia was the fuck because I thought she would be the best of all three. But
Yeah, but married people fuck.
that's okay. Fair.
True.
Fair.
I want repeat
Yes,
business with Atalantia.
Yeah, that's the hidden window in fuck, marry, kill. It's like you get to fuck two people. Who do you want to actually spend more time with?
Yeah. And Atalantia, like, she has cool pets. She's got big ideas.
Yeah,
She
you
appreciates
can get the snake the whole
Yeah.
time.
I'm okay with snakes. If she was like a spider gal. Well, not spiders, more like cockroaches. I don't like cockroaches.
Oh,
Ugh.
all right.
You scurry
Next
out and you're just
one.
like, this place, wherever you are, you're like, this place is horrible. If a cockroach is there, you're just like, you don't trust the place. If you see a spider, the place is still cool, The
You just
cockroach,
put
like,
the spider outside. It's fine.
yeah, but I'm not putting a cockroach outside. I'm sorry.
Crush that.
That gets
You
the
gotta
heel.
crush that. Yeah. All right. Well, the next one is Cassius Darrow Diomedes. Who are you fucking
Oh
into?
shit! This is the opposite, equal and opposite. Like, oh my god!
Yeah.
The Sword Masters.
Kill Darrow.
Diomedes.
Oh.
Yeah, kill Darrow, marry Diomedes, fuck Cassius.
Fuck Cassius. He's the fuck
Yeah.
boy. Fuck
Yeah,
Cassius.
yeah, exactly. And Diomedes would leave you alone during their relationship. You know, just be a platonic heterosexual life
He'd,
partner.
he'd be over there somewhere doing with his hobbies.
Oh my god, he would be
Yeah,
so
he'd have
thoughtful, caring, like
he'd just be meditating outside in the morning. I'd be like, well, that's inspirational. I'll come meditate with you,
yeah.
bro.
And I
You
bet
know?
he's an amazing cook. I really think he's an
Yeah,
incredible
and
cook.
Cassius would cheat on us constantly. We can't have
Yeah,
that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
can
Fuck that guy.
confirm.
Yeah.
Gotta have self-respect.
Yeah.
Yep.
Although at the same time, he would probably arrange pretty interesting parties.
He would
Mm.
definitely. And he
Not
would
like
also
The
be
second most interesting
Yeah.
parties.
Not
and also
the
well, I
second most.
maybe I need to maybe I
like
need
a
to
good
ask a question though, because I didn't ask this. Is this like early arc Cassius or late arc Cassius?
It's however you want. For me,
Because
it's the whole
early
time I'm fucking
Which is
either
in
like
love.
ironically
both
what
would be a
Cassius
great
says.
fuck. Like, early Cassius would be a terrible husband. Late Cassius would be a good husband, I think.
Mm,
You
okay.
know? It's like
But better
Cassius
than Diomedes?
That's hard to say. Diomedes is like such a selfless entity, like deeply selfless that like god damn it, like yeah. I don't know.
It'd be great
It's
though. You'd wake up, he'd be volunteering in the soup kitchen, and he'd be like, "Well, that box is checked. You know, we can't make like everyone in the family get volunteered. The house won't take care of itself."
yeah, I gotta stick with Diomedes is house hubby
Yeah,
around here for
yeah,
sure.
house hubby, yeah, for sure. He'd be quiet, like he wouldn't interrupt you when you're reading. Be great.
Oh yeah,
He'd
and he'd
probably
have his
just
own
bring you
secret
tea
too.
out of
Like he's like
nowhere. He'd be like, "Oh, here you go."
yeah,
Yeah,
like that incredible impossible combination of fully self-driven and fulfilled while also being giving. Like that's like doesn't
and
happen in here,
he's
you
the
know?
least insecure of the three.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. He knows who he is.
Yep.
Darrow, you couldn't trust shit. Kill him. I don't believe you.
Not
You're
even
trying
a
to-
conversation.
Or you're like, I think you're
You
trying to take
must
over the government. He's like, no, I'm not. I was like,
Why do you have an army and you're Sordo?
yeah, exactly, bro.
What's happening here?
Is that a nuclear warhead in your closet?
You just happy to see me.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, Baltar.
Okay. All right. Ragnar, Alexander, or Cassius?
The Cassius is getting a lot of action here.
Yeah.
Mary
Classic Cassius.
Alexander.
Yeah.
You say
I
Cassius?
disagree. I'd marry
I said-
Ragnar.
You're married.
Bro.
Oh.
That's what
Yeah,
I
Oh.
would say.
he's fucking
Okay.
incredible. He's such a giving human.
Oh my god!
Like,
And
he's like
do you guys like wake up in the morning and wish there was just a giant to pick you up and crack you, like and pull you in different directions? I
Like
would
a
just love
joystick?
like to wake up and Ragnar embraces me and just stretches me. Like first 30 minutes of just
Okay, I
being
might be
stretched
sold
by
on
Ragnar.
that, to be honest.
Oh my god, it'd be
just imagine
amazing.
how,
And he's just
how,
like pulling
how
you.
safe
Like,
would you feel as Little Spoon? I mean, like, come on, it'd be incredible.
Whoa.
But
what
okay,
about-
but I'm little, so I would get squished.
You might get a little squished. Yeah.
he's gentle-ish, you know. I'd say
Ish.
Alexander. I'd say Alexander. I bet he likes to travel. I bet he has great
Yep.
taste in food. I bet he has
Mhm.
great like taste in like hotels and stuff. And he just has this kind of like how would I say it? This joy of life. I think they'd be really sincere, and I think he'd be writing poetry, you know, and just be like, I don't know, very inspirational and attentive. But Ragnar, I think, would get a little one note for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can
So
see that.
unfortunately, I have to kill Ragnar
that
again.
being-
Yeah.
Well,
Does that
I'm
leave
with
you
you on
killing
that one, too.
Cassius though?
I mean,
Like, what's
Alexander's
No, you're fucking-
Alexander's still like 6'10". He can still stretch me.
yeah. Wait, so all right, so
Yeah.
you're marrying Alexander, but then like, who are you fucking and who are you killing?
I'm always fucking Cassius.
So what? You're killing Ragnar again, you motherfucker.
Pierce, we're
Let
on
it
the
not be
same
said,
page
I'm an
here.
inconsistent
Yeah.
man. Yeah, I see you.
And little did you know this is how the book was written.
Yeah.
It all makes sense now.
Yeah. All right, ready
Okay,
for this? This
we got-
last one is my personal favorite that I came up with. Go for it, Chris.
To answer your question before, you said Cassius is getting a lot of action, and I said classic Cassius. The fuck, marry, kill options for this round are Julia Albelona, Octavia Aulun, and Dido Ausan.
Fucking Dido. For sure. For sure. For sure.
No.
I'm not even gonna have to
Joel's
explain that
face.
shit.
No, because you have to
Dumbass.
marry her. The other two are horrible. Like, imagine spending the rest of your life with Octavia or like Jesus fucking Christ. Like, they're both
Julia's
terrible.
cool with her. Julia's cool with her family, man.
I don't know.
Look
man.
what Di-
She-
look, Whose husband got screwed over by his wife?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But also,
Mhm.
Julia, if she's on your side, she's on your side for like life.
Salem
Yeah.
Rose.
I don't know. I'm
Yes,
still dreaming
exactly.
She
Dido.
will
If
not
I get
rest.
It's a romance for the ages. I mean, fucking
Dude.
hell.
if I get like bumped in traffic, like bumped walking, she'll be like, "I will not rest until that man's heart is on my table." I'm like, hot. I'm aroused. Let's go.
Okay, so you're saying fuck
Oh, yeah.
marry
Kill Octavia.
Octavia,
We
obviously.
have enough
Yeah.
tyrants as is. Fuck Dido. Because she's just she's too mischievous to sleep next to. And then marry Julia.
Okay.
What about y'all?
I think
I
I'm on
didn't-
the same boat.
Yeah, I
one.
think that's about it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Wow, Joel.
I'm still marrying
So
Dido.
odd man out. Rationalize. Go ahead. Go for it.
It's no rationalizing. Maybe I'm just like slightly in love with Romulus's love for her. I don't know. I mean, like, it's like, God damn it. Like, if he felt that way, there has to be something.
Yeah. Every
Even
temptress
though,
has a
like,
temp.
her character in the books isn't like necessarily someone like I deeply connect with your character's actions. But God damn it, I mean, it's just like the fucking Princess of the Outer Rim. Like, somehow there's something magical.
See, this is where we completely disagree because, like, and no disrespect to anyone who has done this, but people have used the like Romulus Dido quotes in their weddings, and I always sit there and go, "It's not necessarily the love I want." Yeah, the full context,
It is
but
until
like
it's not.
exactly, yeah.
Well, there's a
Looking
lot
at
of
full
flavor
context.
of ice cream out
Let's
there.
be honest, so like
Yeah.
the real
I'm glad you
all-consuming
know that
loves,
reference.
like the real all-consuming loves of anyone's lives aren't always like healthy, right? I mean, they're not always like they're like that like difference between like rational pursuit versus passion. I don't know. I feel like their love sort of encapsulates that somehow. I don't know. She's somebody you're like passionate for without like it like well, she's also batshit crazy and like might shank somebody, Like I don't
Where's
know.
the crazy hot scale? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know.
There you go.
Dido all the way.
All
Fair
right.
enough.
There you go.
All right.
Well, we start into the last 5 questions, which are true lightning round. Which of the characters can fold a fitted sheet? This actually comes from Emily of Escalades.
Jesus, Emily.
To be fair, Tower wanted to know if either of you could fold a fitted sheet, and we went
Who can fold?
into
No one can fold a fucking fitted sheet. It's impossible.
characters.
Actually, I
yeah,
bet Pierce
no,
can fold a fitted sheet.
yeah. You have to first.
We have some TikTok hackers who do that.
You have to
Emily, we're proud of
neutralize.
you.
You have to neutralize the roundish shape first, and then you have something you can fold.
Yeah.
You can't
I still
fold
can't do
the
it.
rounded shape.
So and which character can?
I've done it once. I just don't bother.
Oh. No, just throw it in the closet.
Lyria.
Ooh, Lyria.
She can't reach the
Patience
corners.
for that.
Ridiculous.
Straight up, I bet who can is Alexander.
Mhm.
My thought
You
was
know
Mustang.
he does. You know he does. Yeah.
Chat right now
Mustang-
is saying Roke, Mateo,
Mateo for sure.
Mateo.
Oh,
for
yep.
sure.
Mustang. Yeah,
No,
Mateo, Roke, and
Mustang's never
Mustang are the
changed her
ones.
own. Mustang's never
Yeah.
changed her own betting. Y'all forget she's so blue blooded it hurts.
Yeah.
There.
It's like
There you
Winston
go.
Churchill. Winston Churchill, when he's like in a foreign prison, had a barber come to shave him. Like Winston Churchill, when he was 50, said to his wife, "Of course I can cook and take care of myself. I've seen an egg boiled. How hard can it be?" Like, and he's like a peasant compared to Mustang.
Yeah.
Has she even cooked a
know.
meal besides those noodles that one time? Maybe not.
Mhm. There we go.
Okay. Do violets have their own battle bots with carved creatures?
For sure. For sure. I've thought about this in the like in the on the asteroid cities and stuff, but that's where it would be happening. So I imagine like Cassius and Lysander went to some BattleBot stuff. And like
Fuck
bid
yeah.
on things. And like Lysander's like, this is repugnant. A poor like use of genius. And Cassius is just like, I bet on blue. So, the tentacled one, you know? Yeah.
Can we please have a novella about this? It's like, I don't know. I'm thinking like
Lost years.
it's that Cowboy Bebop vibes, kind of somehow. You know, it's
Oh, I've always wanted to write a story about Severo's journey from Mars to Pluto, between books 1 and 2. When he's cast out and feeling like Darrow didn't, get his back, and he's just on his own going out there, and his misadventures.
Nice.
Fuck yeah.
So maybe.
I hope
There you go.
so.
For the record, I'm going to put this so that we have it recorded. Orange Armory says that he could make a battle bot. So there's your challenge for Orange Armory to make us a battle bot of a carved creature.
Next,
Prove
let
it.
us plates drop.
Please do, Josh. Please do.
Yeah, I think people would rather see like the orange battle bots than the violet battle bots, because there's something
Yes.
really sad about a sweet animal getting killed. I just don't like that too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
They didn't mean it. They didn't do it. It's like,
Yeah. It's not their
Or-
fault.
yeah, this poor Pegasus octopus didn't want to be born. Can't
I'm
help
just
it.
trying to
Attracted
figure
so-
out what it looks
Can't
like.
help
and I
it. It's
can't
attracted to
figure out
narwhals. Yeah.
the tentacles coming out the back or the belt. Like, what is it? How does it even fucking work? God damn it!
No, the horn comes out the
Exactly.
cloaca.
Yeah. Exactly, Joel. Exactly.
I don't wanna
Octopus
learn.
wings, but a horse
Pull it
head.
into the
Like,
I don't
horn.
want to learn
Jesus
biography
Christ,
or
yeah.
None of
Biology.
those things.
You see how
None of those
uncomfortable
things.
you see how uncomfortable you guys are. I think we should stick with the orange battle bots.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
So Josh, make us a battle bot. I'll come down and I'll test it.
Yeah.
Salem
All
will
right,
fight
Josh,
the battle
okay.
bot.
I'd pay to see that.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So, from the resident Canadians, are there any Sophocles incarnations wanted for war crimes?
No.
get my Nexus
because,
light right now.
because
Let's,
the Telemanus clan would never use their sweet prince to perpetrate violence.
But he is
But he'd do
big.
it by himself.
He was hunting down Paco Bells on his own.
Mhm.
He was, but they were shifty, and they had it coming.
That is correct.
That's Canada's excuse in all world wars. I was
Mhm.
shifty.
And I think Sophocles very much takes after his name and tries to be equitable and fair in all things. And he knew Papa Bells had it coming.
Yeah. Fair.
You heard it here first.
All right.
No crimes.
No war crimes
Not by
for
Sophocles.
for
anyway.
Sophocles.
Yeah.
Other people,
Everyone else,
definite
yes.
war crimes.
Everyone else
Definite
definitely
war
still on the
crimes.
table.
Y'all just want to see Sophocles on the stand. Prosecuted.
I would love to
Defend
see
those
him
Fox
defending
has put
his two
betrayed
little front
murder.
paws.
Do you have anything to say for yourself?
Jelly beans.
In my defense, I was doing it for jelly beans.
Yes. I do imagine he has the voice of like an old British gentleman.
Yes,
He is
100%.
100%.
I will send you. I have a picture of like an old timey painting of a fox hanging on my wall. I will send it to you.
Phenomenal. I'm imagining kind of like Benedict Cumberbatch's voice for Sophocles.
Yep. I like
Damn,
it.
Watch
sexy.
Red Rising be like a middling success, and like the Tales of Sophocles ends up being the smash hit. And it's just Benedict Cumberbatch's
Absolutely.
voice.
Oh my-
Like, yeah, it'll get made first.
The Paddington Bear.
Yeah, exactly. The Paddington Bear in a sci-fi world.
I'm
Yeah.
throwing out good ideas, Pierce. You're going to shoot yourself down before you start.
Next.
All right.
Skipper?
Do porta potties exist in Red Rising universe, and has Severo slept in one?
I mean, Chevrolet shits in his pants. He thinks that's the porta potty.
There you go.
Take pants everywhere.
Yeah. One of the fun things for me is just like thinking all this advanced technology they have, but the people still shit. It's just like it's kind of like for however rich a guy is or a gal is in this world, they still poop. And so it's like in their world, I like that kind of sci-fi because it makes it real. But I haven't thought about porta potties. I'm sure on job sites, perhaps.
All right, and then our last question. The last time we live streamed together, you informed us that June the Cook was dead in an iron rain. Can you tell us one more background character that is also dead?
Interesting. Y'all give me some background characters, see if it sparks anything.
Okay, I'm gonna turn this over to the chat. Throw out some background characters. Now everyone's just going over. Is Evie alive or dead?
He's alive.
Okay. Someone has Darrow. I think Darrow's alive.
Pretty sure
That's
he's not
spoiler
a
for
you,
character
dude.
anymore.
Spoiler for y'all, Darrow's a Portland bike messenger who just got hit by an Uber and is dreaming this whole thing up before he does die. Oh, Dago. The Red Miner, the Helldiver.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he died on Mercury. In the
okay.
in the fall of Heliopolis. Yeah.
All
He got
right.
trampled by, in my imagination, got trampled by a horse. Or some
Okay.
blood. Yeah.
Glerasti's butler.
He's alive.
Exeter.
He's
Okay.
okay.
He's alive. Yeah. You'll see
Mustang.
you'll see Exeter again soon.
Ooh. Mustang's horse from the Institute.
Alive.
Obviously. Okay, just to chat, everybody that is asking ones that might be serious, I'm ignoring you.
I mean, we can do this right now. No, I'm kidding.
Well, Lyria's brothers
Somebody
is
got a
the
hat.
big one that's going through.
Next.
Yeah. I've heard you answer this one before, but Tongueless's dog.
He got lost somewhere in the book. He was in a draft, and then I think he just got. Sometimes I don't know. Sometimes like in the second between the second and third draft is like the culling ground, and I'll cut something out, and then I'll go to place it somewhere else, and then my ADD brain is like just gets distracted by something else. I think honestly that one was a mess up on my part. He was supposed to be there, but then at the end I saw he wasn't there, and I was like, it's too much work. I'm just so tired.
What about all the dogs that have gone to a farm upstate on Earth?
They're all alive. They're all
All
alive.
alive.
I've had
Yeah.
a dog like that, Rocky. He's definitely alive still.
He's definitely alive. That's
He's a
where we're
border
gonna
collie, he's
end
smart.
this.
Yeah. Definitely alive.
And on that very happy note, thank you both. This has been fantastic.
Yeah, thank you
Thank
guys.
you.
Such a pleasure.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much. This has been really fun.
Yeah.
And thank you for everyone in the chat for keeping Red Rising alive even while I'm dithering on giving y'all books. I really appreciate it. And it's really actually comforting to me in the writing process it helps me give y'all the best material, knowing that there's not a ticking clock on interest being lost. And that is unimaginably helpful to me. Like, I don't think y'all really fully get it. And sometimes I don't participate in the digital space because it kind of compromises, at this point, it can compromise me and the ideas I have. So I really appreciate y'all continuing to have this enthusiasm and to honestly find the same community in each other that I was trying to have the characters find in the books. It's really great for me. And Joel, you especially, brother, for keeping it alive and helping people find community and also fun art from the worlds, and had a great journey so far.
Oh, thanks, man.
You guys are all great.
My turn to say also thank you to everyone for joining tonight, and particularly special thank yous to Crescent, Skipper, Salem. You guys had some great questions. Thanks so much for moderating, allowing me to actually be a fly in the wall and answer some questions this time around. It was really fun. But
It's
huge
easy
thank
on
you.
this side, isn't it, Joel? It's easy.
It is. I like it. I kind of could get used to it. I don't know.
Man, I've been a moderator a couple times for people's like visiting authors and stuff. That shit's hard.
It's
Like, you're
tough.
tiny,
Yeah, I mean,
you don't want to interrupt. You want to keep the pace going. Yeah.
and I feel like I can. Yeah, moderating for you is easier than it would be for somebody I didn't know well, because I can just like chat with you. But anyway, it was fun to be asked questions, which was sweet. And thank you for pretending like you care about my answers, everyone. That was lovely of you all.
We
Stop
do.
it.
Now people
Stop
know
it.
who
Don't be
you are.
ridiculous.
Now that you know who I am,
Yes, everybody has to stop asking
you
now.
can actually care about my answers. But particularly like a huge thank you to everyone who this last year made Lit Escalate such a fun space to be a part of. We do a lot of weird stuff. We cook up a lot of crazy ideas, and it wouldn't be possible without everyone who participates, who engages, who plays our weird games, who gets into the nerdy, crazy chaos that we get to cook up. So, you know, this sort of end of year event really is special to me to be able to kind of have a moment and say, wow, this was really fun. Because for me, at the end of the day, you know, I'm a creative, chaotic individual. That's all about making my own artwork. But what escalates is about community and about building a space that, you know, people get to come together and engage around, you know, the crazy stuff Pierce cooks up, and then, you know, some of the weird ideas I have to cook up around engaging people in that space. So I love it, and I'm so appreciative of everyone who participates and comes along for the weird things that we cook up next, which,
Here.
yeah, there's
Yes.
some stuff coming
More
this
stuff
year.
coming.
Yeah, some big, even with shit is escalating
I
again.
don't know. Yeah.
Amazing.
There you go.
Shit
Don't say too much.
continues to escalate.
Don't lock us into
I'm
a
not gonna say
schedule.
anything other than that. That's, yeah. So thank you,
Alright.
everyone. Much love.